Hi, my name is Paula Hurlock, and this message is primarily for my Jamaican people. On the 21st of June, myself and Roz are hosting a meditation. It's the summer solstice, which is the time when the sun is at its highest point in the heavens. Longest day of the year, they say. Now, Jamaica has not been a country that has delved very deeply into the cosmic uh, aspects of life. We are a cosmic people, but as a people, we have been suppressed and colonized, and as such, there are many things that were eliminated from our sphere as a people. However, I would like to say that Jamaicans are some of the most spiritually gifted people on the planet. I would have to say almost everybody in Jamaica has spiritual gifts. How it shows up is different for everyone, but a lot of the gifts are suppressed by our religious overtones. Um, and so, at a time when we are experiencing a global awakening, Jamaica perhaps is not where it needs to be. Now, I want to just give a little background to why the gathering of the 144 chosen is is the title of the meditation. Last year, after a meditation, a very deep meditation that I had, one of the things that came up was that Jamaica is going to be the epicenter or the focal for melanated people all over the world. It's going to be an area of activation, as it were, outside of the African continent for melanated peoples. If you look at where we are, it looks like the Caribbean is like right in the center and everything emanates from it. And indeed, if you were to look at how our music emanates from this little dot, our food, our language, our dance forms, just us, we literally are a little amplifier amplifying our vibration outwards. So if we do that when it comes to track and field, and we do that when it comes to music, and we do that when it comes to dance, and we do that when it comes to bad behavior, then wouldn't it stand to reason that spiritually we are also an epicenter? Just a question for you to ponder. So that's what came to me in that meditation. And I've been doing a lot of work with a lot of other people who have also gotten that message. And we've been doing a lot of clearing of some of the negative energies that are here imprinted on this island because of all the bloodshed, all the trauma that has been visited upon our land by the whole slave experience, and so on. All the recent bloodshed that we're seeing. Some of it is not by accident, some of it is orchestrated, and we must, as a group of enlightened and aware ones, stand and hold space for all of what is happening, the undercurrents. I did a very strong meditation at the end of May, and I remember opening my eyes and hearing Gather the 144. So I was like, what? Because I don't normally get impressions like that after meditation. So of course I struggled to figure out what that was. I was like 144, 144 what? So it sounded to me like gather the 144 for meditation. And then I thought to myself, okay, if I say I'm going to do something like a meditation, the most I will get is 12 to 14 to 16 persons. That is a far cry from 144. And all of us know what this 144 is about. It's talked about very frequently in many spaces, but there's reference to the 144,000 chosen ones. And everybody would look at that number and say, that's ridiculous. We have 9 billion people on the planet. How can only 144,000 be chosen? I'm not really arguing about the 144 chosen, but I said, okay, but we should be able in Jamaica to be able to get 144 people together to meditate on the solstice. But when I thought about it, I was like, okay, no, it's not Vibes Cartel, it's not Jamaica Carnival, it's not Sumfest, and you see how easy it is for any of those groups to be able to get tens of thousands of Jamaicans together. Even a church convention is able to get thousands of people, but a meditation gathering, not so much. So I hesitated for a while, and I did approach a few people to join us, to let's join up and bring out the 144. Sadly, the institutions that those people were attached to, headquartered in other countries, were not open to coming together to meditate. So here we are, we're just throwing it out, and we're inviting anybody of a like-minded to what I am saying now to join us. So what am I saying? I am saying that, and you probably have heard me talk about the 77th meridian. There are grid lines or energy lines running all across the planet. They're called ley lines, right? And where these ley lines intersect, those areas are powerful vortexes of energy. So most of the capitals of the very powerful countries are positioned on very powerful ley lines. So the Vatican is on a powerful ley line in Italy. London is on a powerful ley line in the United Kingdom. Washington, D.C. is on a very powerful ley line or intersection in the United States. Paris is on a powerful ley line intersection, right? The same ley line or meridian that Washington, D.C. sits on also runs north to south, runs through Cuba, and runs through Jamaica. What I'm saying is that Jamaica is very powerful. Now, most of you must have heard reference to the 12 chakras or the stargates on the planet, that they talk about Mount Shasta, and they talk about Lake Titicaca, and they talk about the pyramids of Giza, and they talk about all sorts of different places in Australia, in the Middle East, all over. They never ever say Jamaica has one. But if you look at our people and you look at our country and you look at our behavior, it is very clear that there is a powerful healing vortex right here in Jamaica. Right? Because of that, Jamaica is always, always considered in everything. We are a very strategic location. In fact, if you think about it, Jamaica, Haiti, and Cuba are three very powerful countries in a specific area in the Caribbean. And we're strategic. They're always fighting over us. The Spanish fought over us. The British fought over us. The French fought over us. And in the end, what did we see? We saw Spain getting Cuba, the British getting Jamaica, and France getting Haiti. What was so special about those three countries? In the work that I do, I am very regularly contacted by people who are having strange experiences, and they share them with me to get some insight, and I'm able to decipher what is happening. What happens, therefore, is that there is a confluence of very similar um, experiences from very diverse, different people from different walks of life. And one thing that has been popping up recently is that there are lots of people, Jamaicans here, coming to me with very curious dreams that point towards the northern part of Jamaica being a part, possibly, of Atlantis. That sounds bizarre. That sounds strange. Based on archaeological discoveries in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, the Bimini Road, which is underwater, is somewhere near to the Bermuda Triangle, which is due north of us. But I would say in the last 6 months, there have been at least 7 people who have come to me and said, listen, they've been having recurring dreams of being gathered on a coastline somewhere in Portland or somewhere in the Blue Mountains or under the sea, you know, and the impression they get, because they're not seeing a sign that says Atlantis, but the impression they get is that these flashes are flashes from past lives, and it's of Atlantis. Recently, I heard a young lady. She's from the UK with Jamaican parents, and she has the gift of being able to remote travel, remote view. And she discovered quite a number of interesting things in Jamaica. It's very interesting because she says she's never really spent a lot of time in Jamaica, yet these flashes are now happening. With the awakening taking place, our DNA is being activated, and so a lot of us are getting flashes of our past life and flashes of insight as to things that happened on this land called Jamaica. So why is this important? Why is this relevant to the meditation that we want to have here in Kingston, Jamaica? It seems to me that there are a lot of people who have puzzle pieces that if we gather together, we get to piece together what took place, and we are able to figure out how to invert the distortions that are overlaying Jamaica, because there seems to be a lot of frequency distortion. Why do I say that? The crime that we are having now is bizarre. It's violent. It is, and it has escalated so dramatically over the last 10 years that you know that there is something amiss, right? A lot of what is happening on the world stage, all over the world, not just Jamaica, is that these ley lines, which are powerful vortexes of energy, they have had inversions of the energies there, distortions of the energies there, harnessing of those energies for power, but for selfish power and greed. Okay, I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of it, but suffice it to say, if you have a gathering of people whose hearts are pure and whose intentions are pure for the healing of this island, the energy of this island, it will happen. A gathering of like-minded people is able to override a correction that will burn away the distortion and clear the fields, quantum field around this planet, this not just this planet, but this country. So the invitation is therefore to all those people who feel that this can be done. And some people will ask, so aren't we praying for that in church? And my answer would be yes, we have been for 500 years. And for me, my observations are showing me that it hasn't improved at all. In fact, it has gotten worse. You know, yes, we have freedoms, but freedom to do what? Look at our young women. Look at how loose they are. Look at how undignified they are. Look at their obsession with money and material gains. Look at the lack of respect they have for their temple. Yeah? Look at the young men. Look at how they abuse women, how they glorify money and guns and drugs and violence. There's something wrong, you know? So, if your soul's mission is to be part of the change that we want to see here in Jamaica at this time, then join us on Saturday, June 21 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on this sacred day, the summer solstice, where we are reminded of the profound power that lies within us to meditate together and expand the light that is pouring into Jamaica, anchoring in the light. And it is healing light to the beautiful island home that we occupy, to be able to transcend the density within the collective consciousness, because there is a lot of distortion, fragmentation, and trauma still residing in the collective consciousness of the Jamaican population. So how do we anchor in the light? We anchor in the light by intentional breath work, sound frequency. We will do a crystal grid activation, and Roz will do the breath work. We will also be adding a very short group regression session. Regression is when you go into a deep meditation to tap into your past life. Why is that important? Because lifetimes ago, a group of us made a decision that we would be gathering together in 2025 to do this. And so, more than likely, if you have gotten to this point in this presentation and you are here in Jamaica, you're probably one of those people. So, this is your invitation. If you pick up this transmission, not just what I've said, but what my voice is telling you, and what my heart is communicating to you, then you will know that you are supposed to be there to fulfill this beautiful activation that will set in place a beautiful and protective hedge of protection against both natural and man-made disasters, because we are in the time where we are going to be susceptible to both. Our gathering is just to reinforce this frequency net around the island and to send out our positive vibrations to all of our diaspora, all Caribbean, African diasporas at this time. We are in a time of great global turmoil, not just at the geopolitical level, but at the tectonic level as well. The volcanoes are erupting, the plates are moving, space weather is crazy, but it's all as we move towards New Earth, and Jamaica has a role to play in this New Earth that we're talking about. They require a group of us to come together to do this activation. So if you are a misfit, you don't fall into any category, but you know you've been having these dreams, these impressions, these messages coming to you that we must gather together to anchor in the light to heal this country, then this message is for you and this invitation is to you. So the details are in the link below. You can register by clicking that link or by sending a WhatsApp message to 876-593-1313 and you'll get the registration link. It's $6,000 and that will include fruits, water, and some herbal teas, because we are meditating. We don't want to fill up our tummies. I'm going to ask you to fast from the night before, and we'll provide the tea and the fruit to break your fast. Okay, so if you are interested, we're going to be in Kingston gathering together to meditate from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we'll be doing the breath work, then we'll do a little bit of a group regression, and then we'll do an activation and guided meditation for healing the light grids of Jamaica. I'm looking forward to having you join me. And guys, we must be able to muster up 144 Jamaicans who understand what needs to be done. So if this is interesting to you and you know of people that this would resonate with, please share it with them and let us get together. And let us not just do this on a one-off. Let us try to get together perhaps once every 2 months to do this special meditation, because this is the kind of meditation that keeps Jamaica safe from disaster, keeps the young people safe from self-destruction, keeps Jamaica safe from being attacked by external forces. And when I say attacked, I don't mean like we're being attacked by an army. I'm talking about being attacked by genetically modified foods, by vaccines, by sprays. They say they're spraying mosquitoes, but what are they really spraying? This is the first time in Jamaica's history that we have a declining birth rate. That has never happened. So when I say we're being attacked, I don't mean by an army. I'm talking about pharmaceutical attacked, chemical attacked, so on and so forth, even in the form of social media. Those are the new weapons of these times. Those are the things that can affect and even destroy our youth. So that's the end of my invitation to you, and I will see you on June 21 right here in Kingston at our meditation.